España, viva Navarra, viva Pamplona, viva Rog.
Viva Dave!
Oh, and viva the men in blazers.
Not so much.
Coming up in the next hour, we recap today's record-breaking run of the Miura de la Muerte on the streets of ancient Pamplona. We are joined by elite American runner Dennis Clancey to break down the blistering fast run. Welcome back to Running the Bulls Festival and highlights. Rog, Davo, and the man between us, the real man between us, Dennis Clancey, joining us again today. You ran with the Bulls day one, you ran with the Bulls day two. You teach the young Americans, young foreigners, young people from all over the world how to run with the Bulls. You're an Army veteran, West Point, 101st Airborne. We are not worthy. One of the new generation of American San Fermin disciples.
The Phoenix Heartthrob.
This is his 9th year running here in Pamplona
He
with the
started
Bulls.
when he was 11.
He ran this morning. He's the director and subject of a documentary film about his experiences. It's an amazing film, Chasing Red. Okay, through Town Hall into Mercaderes.
So they're into Mercaderes. I'm chasing Dennis Clancey, probably. Oh, I see Dennis Clancey there.
Yeah.
A hero, veteran, and a hero of the run as well.
Okay, cue Dennis Clancey in the middle of the screen. Unbelievable run. Oh, that guy so nearly
Chariots
takes
of
it. This guy
fire.
does.
Look at this.
Dennis, you said you weren't happy with what happened with your run yesterday. A much better run through the City Hall Mercaderes section today. Let's take a look at that. There you are.
Yeah, I finally just committed to the horns. I knew the bull was there. I didn't really look back a whole lot. I just ran as fast as I could going into the curve there.
Oh,
Look at this guy.
Well, we'll look at that guy in 1 second. Let's look at your run again.
In slow motion.
In slow motion, because to me, you look like John McClane being pursued by a fireball in Die Hard, but with better hair. Tell us, what are the emotions you experience when that occurs?
Yeah, you know, there's one last time I look back, and then you have a sense of where the horns are to your back, but you can't look back if you're going to run at top speed. And so I book it as hard as I can until I feel like I'm losing my legs.
Okay, now there you are, Dennis, right there. We're freezing on you right now. You are, what, 3 yards from the bull's nose right
and
there.
This bull is called a swelto. It's a lone bull.
Yep.
It's separated from the herd.
Yeah.
It's lost its herding instinct. It looks around and it tries to attack. Can you talk about what goes through your mind as you approach a swelto?
I knew it was problematic to begin with, and so I kind of let it go past me. I was looking for the rest of the herd because I really wanted to lead the main herd behind it. But eventually I could see that it had gone off to the left. It had gored a couple, well, it didn't actually gore people, but it injured a couple people. And as it turned around, I just happened to be there at that moment. And I knew the best thing I could do was to get its attention and try to guide it into the curve.
Okay, well, let's see you do that.
I'm
Once
looking
again,
there. I'm
you're
kind
up
of
at the
just,
top of the screen.
I'm looking there. I'm trying to find where the
There,
other bulls
where
are,
you're
and then
close.
I'm just, come on with me, come through.
You want to lead them up Estafeta around the curve, and you did that expertly. This is the view from
Look
above.
at this. Iron Robin would love this dodgy flapper.
Oh, dodgy flapper there from above. Dennis leading them up the curve. That's an amazing image.
Can you talk
Thank
about
you.
the bull's vision? I mean, we know the bull sees better broadside.
It does,
If he's
yeah.
facing you, you make your motions low where his vision is okay. Can you talk about the hand motion?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it very much helped the fact that I was running across him at that moment, right? I was in a good position, I knew, to really capture the full breadth of his view and to really get him looking in the direction I needed him to follow us back into La Curva. You can, as an experienced runner, you can tell the difference between people that are just freaked out because they don't know what's happening and those that are actually running in proximity to the bulls. And you start to see some holes in the crowd, that space in front of the bulls, right? That crowd kind of moves away, and that's when you start picking up speed to get on the horns.
Now, I think I know the answer to this question, but is this an area of the course that you would advise any novice to run?
If you're going to run Estafeta, I would like them to run the early portions of the course, so if they get spooked out running too early, they at least don't pass the bulls as they're going into that final tunnel. That's the big problem.
Walking the course with you today, I realized the stones on the street, I mean, are so worn and slippery.
Yeah.
In parts, it's like walking on a freshly polished linoleum. How much of a problem is basic traction?
It depends on what part of the route you're in. So the city actually started putting down something to dissolve all the junk that gets in the pores of the stone, so it has better traction. That happens at La Curva. It used to be that we had much worse turns there, but on Estafeta, as you can tell, they wash down those streets and they never get bone dry again.
Then we become accustomed to the relay race, the forcing themselves onto the horn, the taking in turns. How do these runners take their time, bide their time, and then force themselves onto the horns of the bull.
You really want the bulls to do the work, right? So you want to turn and start running with just enough time for you to get up speed so you can get on the horns, but you also need a little bit of time to work your way through that crowd. It's just a timing thing. You don't want to start too early and get tired out.
It's artistry.
I would put what those 3 people did today, what you did yesterday, Dennis, I'd put up there with any pro athlete in any sport. We're rewarding you. In fact, this isn't even worthy of you, but we want you to have our men in blazers running the bulls in Pamplona patch. Please, it makes us proud that you would even put that on. We are only
bonkers.
about 2.5 hours away from the day 5 Encierro. That is coming up at 2 a.m. Eastern, 1 Central on this channel. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back with Dennis to talk about the Telefonica section that you just witnessed, Juanpe Run. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We're back from the panic balcony. Well, the music has stopped. No, it hasn't. The music is coming back. It's a bit of smooth jazz here on Esquire. We're back with elite runner, elite running coach, Dennis Clancey.
America's sweetheart.
Every day we're trying to break down a different aspect, a different part of the course that the run takes place on every day here. You know, and a section that we've become obsessed with is Telefonica, partly because it seems to be such a dramatic section of the course, although every single section is dramatic. But it's also the section right under our broadcast position where we get to actually watch the run live with our eyes, not just through the cameras. We got a chance to walk that part of the course with you. I know you don't run it every day.
No, I don't.
know you tell your beginners not to go and run it.
It seems to be every section of the course, to be candid, you tell beginners, don't run it.
But what makes it so treacherous?
It's really nowhere safe, but Telefonica has a lot of problems with it. One, a lot of new runners get pushed up the route early. They get freaked out. You're going to have a tight density of people in that area. It widens so people think it's safe. It's got the barriers so people think they can jump out. But it's so dense around the sides of the course, you have nowhere to go, and people are falling on top of each other.
Yeah, and not only does it curve, it also leads to the downhill alley into the tunnel, into the arena.
Within a few seconds, you're going to be in the tunnel. So if you're in Telefonica, you're running the risk already. If you're still in front of the bulls, that you're going to end up going through the tunnel. That's the worst place. That's the most canalizing part of the route. A lot of falls, a lot of trips. We have some famous montons, mountains of people just falling on top of each other that always happen in that area.
So there's a dual threat here. You've got the density of runners, but you also have, this is normally the period of the run where the balls are broken open.
Yeah, that's true.
A real threat of loose balls.
Absolutely. I mean, the further we go down the route, the more probability there is that the herd is going to separate, right? The more chances we're going to have sueltos. That's where Bill Hillman was gored last year. That's where Daniel Romero was killed in 2009.
He tragically lost his life. And I must say, right under our broadcast position where his family were putting up a wreath of flowers to him this morning, that was exactly where the worst injury that happened in today's run took place, right at that same spot.
I think it's a good warning for people. I mean, Daniel knew what he was doing. He knew the bulls. He had run before. Even the most experienced guys can get caught. You can't lose that respect for the bulls.
The Swelter is the loose bull. We have not yet had one in dramatic fashion yet at this Encierro, but describe what happens, because we've seen that the runs where the bulls ultimately, thanks to you, stay fairly close and charge through. But the Sweltos, when it stops, there's a mentality change and the whole race changes from one that's run to one that's really stationary for occasionally for minutes.
For sure, they're primarily herd animals, and so as we've seen so far this year, for the most part, they stay in that pack. But when a bull gets separated, it becomes a primarily different animal. It seeks to establish its territory. It's disoriented. It does that. It establishes its territory by going after people around it, people that are too close to its area.
Okay, Dennis, you've had some amazing runs. When you led the bulls around the corner of ESTAFETA, the Swelter bull that fell down, you got him back up, you led him around with just your fingers, no newspaper in your hand, you led him around with your fingers.
Flap up.
Then your day 5 run. I'm not sure we've seen you move that fast again, ripping off your shirt as you ran down Mercaderes.
You're trying to get the Velcro off your pants, but it wouldn't come.
Another impressive run again today in the same section as always. Mercaderes, here he comes.
Talk us through it.
Yeah, I just wanted to hold the center. I didn't feel like the bulls were really moving that fast, and so I had some good ability to look over my shoulder to be sure of where they were, but I was also very cautious of what happened yesterday where I fell down in the middle of the curve. So I took it to the inside. I wasn't moving that fast. And once I took them into the curve, I let them go.
These balls take that turn so well. It's like the Parabolica at Monza, but they take it fantastically.
You are Captain America, the first Avenger. Looking at that again, you pick them up, then you seem to get an extra burst of speed. Is that the adrenaline kicking in?
I think you're just very aware when that opens up and you feel like you got a pocket in front of the bulls, that's when you're most free to run, and that's when you take off.
Yeah.
As a runner, the adrenaline burst day after day after day, it's now ended. How do you feel looking at this black and white period until the colourful San Fermin kicks off again?
It was a struggle getting through the last 8 or 9 days here. I had a couple rough runs. I got on the run route this morning. I was injured just a little bit. Definitely worked with my confidence, but man, when you get back on the horns the 7th of July next year, I'm going to be the most excited man in the world.
Yeah, you've also had some heroic runs. I mean, we'll think back. Today was great. We look back to day 5 when you ran at speed right on the horns it seemed a faster bull at that pace of the race, straight down Mercaderes, and day 2, that amazing when the bull went down and you led him around the corner
you have
of La
fallen
Curva.
like Chumbawamba, you've gotten right back up again, you have charged through, you have thrilled us, but you've brought it every day, and I think we are all very grateful.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you to our entire team and crew in Pamplona. Thank you to the city of Pamplona. We have loved it here. We've fallen in love with you. Join us tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 Central. We'll recap all of the highlights of today.
Dennis, what an Encierro you have had.
Yeah. 3
unforgettable runs, a dramatic fall, an intimate pants-down encounter with a medic. When you look back at the 2015 Encierro, Encierro, I love saying that.
Yeah, you do.
The 2015 Encierro.
Yeah.
What is your greatest moment?
Being on this show.
Oh.
The running of the bulls.
Yeah, exactly. Even better. Thank you so much, Dennis. Sincerely, it's been amazing having your insights. Added so much depth to our coverage.